Welcome everyone to another Singerreise video podcast. My name is Jonathan Silvia and I'm your host. Thanks for joining us. So at the front here I want to apologize for my unshaven appearance. I recently finished up my opera with Pacific Northwest Opera, Carmen. And my next one is Traviata at Seattle Opera. But Seattle Opera hasn't quite gotten back to me yet in terms of what facial hair they want. So for now, I'm going to have to live with being a little bit scruffy for another video or two, but I'll figure out something eventually and we'll get this fixed. For today, we have number 4 in the Winterreise cycle. That's right, we are 1/6 the way through Winterreise already. Of course, clearly we also have a lot further to go too, don't we? The title for this piece is Erstarrung, which according to my line-by-line translation means numbness. But I'll have to admit, that title numbness didn't make a lot of sense to me. See, if it were about numbness, the piece would have a slow, kind of dulling effect to it, where as we go we would feel less and less pain. Instead, though, it feels filled with worry and despair and passion. Now, it's also worth noting that the poet Müller didn't give titles to any of his poems. Instead, the title comes from Schubert. So it's Schubert who set the poem in this way and gave it the word Erstarrung. So let's take a look at the text and the music and see if that leads us to a better understanding of what is meant by Erstarrung and maybe even find a different translation for it. I won't repeat all 5 stanzas of the text here, but let's take a look and at least get a gist of what's going on. There's snow all around the wanderer, and he decides to get on his hands and knees and start digging around in it. He's hoping that some of his hot tears will melt away the snow so that he can see the earth a little bit better. And of course, in the previous piece, his tears were frozen, and now they're hot. Go figure. Anyway, he's hoping to find a blade of grass or maybe a little flower that he can pluck and take with him as a sort of memento of the love that he just lost. But everything that he seems to find under the snow is already dead. Having no memento to remember his love by seems to really stress out the wanderer. See, in this case, he claims that it is his heart that is frozen. And this, of course, is the complete opposite of the last piece where his heart was glowing hot. And we seem to be very confused about our anatomy and its unfrozenness or its frozenness. Anyway, his heart is frozen, and inside the heart is the last remaining image that he has of his love. He's worried that if the heart should ever start to thaw, that image will be lost for forever. So I suppose the only natural thing to do is to stuff grass into your pants. So that takes care of the text, but taking a look at the music is the same sort of situation. Throughout almost the entire piece, there's a supremely nasty piano part that has fast and undulating triplets in it. Sometimes those triplets are even happening in both hands at the same time. When it's only just one hand, there's usually a counter melody happening against the singer, as if the winter was saying, this isn't going to happen every time the wanderer gets down to the ground and tries to find that little flower. So when you put it all together, the piece is just simply too fast and too animated and too agitated to be called numbness. So to get a better idea of what was going on, I went back to my trusty language sidekicks, my language dictionary and Bing. And of course, if you want to know more about that, check out my translation videos. In this case, the language dictionary didn't even have the word Erstarrung, but Bing was able to offer me a couple other things. Bing offered solidification and rigidity. So now that we have those 2 words for our translation, we now get a better sense of what is going on in this piece. See, Schubert uses that word Erstarrung to describe the hardening of the heart, even all the way through the piece. It's that hardening of the heart that is the conflict in this piece. See, if the heart thaws, then the wanderer will lose that one last remaining memory. Sidebar, I think there's going to be other memories that we'll find later on. But on the other hand, If it remains hard, well, then his heart is as good as dead. So the hardening of the heart is really what is central to Schubert in this piece, and I think we can use that to guide our performance. My last note on this piece is that it was devilishly hard to get a good recording of it. There's a ton of words in the voice part, and they go by extremely fast. And this means that it's a very tricky song to memorize. You always have to be thinking of what the next line is and be thinking ahead. The piano part is no picnic either. All of those very fast arpeggios, blindingly fast arpeggios, are very, very difficult. And often they're voiced in such a way that the first two notes of the arpeggio are right next to each other and played with the thumb and the index finger. And that makes it very, very difficult with small hands especially. So when we were recording the piece, we had to make sure to not damage either of our instruments and do one run, then take a break, do another run, take a break, and so on. I think it's actually a minor miracle that we were able to get all the way to the end without any major train wrecks along the way, especially considering the very fast, compressed schedule that we're trying to keep to put out these Singerreise videos for everybody. If you'd like to find out more about Winterreise or about the life of a working opera singer, check out the Singerreise YouTube channel. And if you stop by, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you're notified when new videos are released. You can also check out our official webpage, singerreise.com, where you'll find more in-depth articles about these things, and you'll find some links to some resources. Or you could join our Facebook page, facebook.com/Singerreise, and join the community there. If you go to any of those places, leave a note, let me know how I'm doing, how you're liking these videos. Also let me know if there's other things that you would like to know about, or if there are other ways that I could maybe even improve these videos. So anyway, I hope you enjoy Erstarrung.
Wo find ich eine Blüte, wo find ich Glück?